What's going on, guys? Your boy Maze. We're back with another video, and in today's video, guys, me going over the previous banners that we've had on Grand Cross in the history of Grand Cross and all the best ones of the bunch, and I'm going to be going over all of them in this video, so let's hop in. Before we actually hop into the video, make sure to subscribe to your boy Amazing. We're on the road to the 40,000 subscribers. As you guys know, man, I'm literally less than 1,000 subscribers away from that 40,000. So if you guys have not hit that subscribe button already, definitely make sure to. And with that out of the way, let's hop in and let's discuss. So I made this post on Sacred Treasure the other day, guys, with the video that I made as well, covering, you know, what the banner could look like for the upcoming 4.5 anniversary festival draw. And obviously, in that video, I was talking about how this is one of the best banners in Grand Cross history. Now, I wanted to kind of go over some other banners in the past that we've had that were really insane banners as well for their time and why they were actually so good. So we have a bunch of banners that I've listed here. I have them all like tabs like pulled up pretty much. You guys aren't able to see because I have a zoom in display, but I have a bunch of tabs open for a bunch of banners we're going to be going over. Let's start with Lost Vein Meliodas. So this is Lost Vein Meliodas' banner. For you guys that don't know, this man came out, I think it was like early September of 2020, right? So he was the first festival character that ever released in Grand Cross, and if I'm not mistaken, I think this banner was a vote banner back then too. I could be wrong, but I remember being able to get all these characters here that we were able to get. I remember people really wanted Green Escanor back then. They really wanted Blue D and Melly. You know, like Matrona was obviously, or Matrona Diana, I mean, was a character people really wanted. You know, Penetration King, so like the Pierce King, right? He was obviously a very good character too. Everything about this banner back then, man, was super good. I think a lot of people, you know, it was like a must summon back then with Lost Vein's banner, guys, with how good, you know, Lost Vein was as a character, and then with all the filler on the banner, like even if you didn't pull Lost Vein, you still had, like, you know, Pierce team with you know, Melly. You had Green Escanor right at the time, which was really good too. So yeah, I mean, like a lot of really good stuff from Lost Vein's banner. And if we go to the next banner that released, that was the next festival, it was Goddess Liz. And as you guys can see on Goddess Liz's banner, her banner was really good too. It's kind of similar to Lost Vein's in the sense of like the characters that were on it, but you had the full Pierce team this time with Blue Lilia on the Goddess Liz banner. You had obviously Goddess Liz herself and the first rerun of Lost Vein Meliodas, which, you know, was something that people were super excited about when Lost Vein was rerunning, because people were like, okay, Goddess Liz is dropping, but I have a chance to get Lost Vein if I missed him on the first festival. And so people were able to pick him up there. You know, like Zaratros, Darriere, Blue Zeldris, like these were all characters that weren't really on banners too often. Red Darriere was still really good in PvE at the time. Blue Zeldris was okay, you know, nothing crazy. Zaratros wasn't really used that much, but he wasn't on banners often, right? And then you had some Catastrophe characters in there as well, like Easton, you know, Valenti, you know, Green Lilia was a free character back in the day, but I mean, you know, it is what it is, right? Mono was there. Like the banner was really good, guys. I think this was one of the, for its time, right? We got to think about when they came out and for their time, like, because obviously nowadays it's like, okay, I see Blue Zeldris, I see Blue Gallon, I'm like, yo, this is like a really bad banner. But back then, these characters were desirable for people, man. Like these were characters that people were trying to get on banners and get these dupes. And so this is just an example of, like, you know, these two banners right here are examples of banners where people were like super excited to pull for these characters because they didn't have enough, you know, full dupes of them, or, you know, for their time, the characters were really good. You know, examples like Darriere and then the Pierce team and then like Valenti, right? So like just examples like that, guys. So yeah, these are the first two festival banners that ever released. I think the next one here we do have is going to be Festival King. Festival King's banner, in my opinion, I think was the best festival banner in year one of Grand Cross. I think this was the best one because of the filler that it had and everything that came with it. So for global, we got Red Lilia with King. I don't think JP got Red Lilia with King, I think, if I'm not mistaken. I think it was just these two, and then Red Lilia was a separate banner. But they were obviously global at the time, was trying to push us up so we could catch up to JP. And so they, you know, they put in Red Lilia on the banner alongside King, and they had both the festivals returning. So they had, you know, Lost Vein, and they had Goddess Liz with a rerun. And then you had, you know, Red Darriere, Green Escanor, Lilia, Melly, as I mentioned, like the full Pierce team, Darriere. Blue Zeldris was okay. You know, Droll was a really good character at the time to kind of counter the, like, you know, the meta here with Lost Vein. Shin was a really good farming unit. You know, Easton was really good. Broxy rerun. You know, Camilla rerun. Gloxinia, right? This was a very good banner, guys. I think this was a vote banner too, right? Voted most popular. So yeah, this was a vote banner back then too. And for its time, I think this was the best banner we had in the first year of Grand Cross Cross, at least for global side of things. I don't know, because JP obviously had a different banner where they didn't have the exact same characters, because as I mentioned, like Lilia was added onto this banner for global players exclusively. So, you know, we had a little bit of a better banner back then, and it was a crazy like time. It's just right, like around this time period, it was really hard to say summon, because, you know, the next festival character was actually going to release, which was the one Escanor, and the one Escanor was the next festival that you know, came after this one, and people literally had to like what, they had like 2 months I think to save from when King dropped till this character dropped with you know, the one Escanor. So yeah, man, look at the one Escanor's banner. You know, it came with him. Green Arthur was a free character that you got, or no, I think, was Green Arthur free? I forget now. I forget if Green Arthur was free initially when it came out, but I think he was, guys, if I'm not mistaken. I think Green Arthur was free, and then the one Escanor was pulled for, but he was on the banner too. Lost Vein, Goddess Liz, King all returned. You had the coin shop units, which were still at the time like not bad characters, right? You know, especially like Green Merlin. You know, Red Demon Melly was still good on like, you know, the Crimson Demon. You still even had like Red Escanor, which is still good at the time on that. You know, Red Zeldris was a good character to counter the kind of like, you know, Lost Vein, Goddess Liz team. You know, you had some Catastrophe characters in there, like Green Esterosa. Like, it was actually a good banner, and it also had the return of Hendrickson with King, right? So very, very good banner as well. These were the first 4 festival characters that released in their banners, and honestly, yeah, I mean, King probably has the best one, because it was a Volt banner. It had the returning of Goddess Liz and Melly, and then it had, you know, these 2 characters, plus they had Lilia on it on top of that. So we had a very, very good banner with this one, right? And then moving into, I think, year 2 of the game, this was with Transcendent, or not Transcendent Bond, Purgatory Bond. Yo, I'm confusing the both now. Purgatory Bond, and this was the banner right here. This was a crazy banner, bro. When Purgatory Bond dropped, look, he came with Lost Vein, which wasn't like the craziest, you know, character at the time, but the one Escanor rerun was crazy. And then, you know, obviously, you know, Small Wing King as well. And then you had you had all 3 Archangels, because I think Sariel came out, you know, earlier. I think it was the beginning of 2021. I think he came out around that time, a little bit after, you know, the one Escanor. So like, you know, the fact that Sariel was on the banner, you know, Tarmiel was on the banner, Ludo, Red Lilia returned, Green Escanor at the time, again, you know, a character that was very good back, you know, back in the day, but he started falling off. You know, Green Valenti wasn't on banners often. Dariari was falling off a little bit. You know, Blue Demon Melly was still a good character. Like, man, this banner back then was really, really good, guys. Nanashi, right? Like, just a bunch of really good stuff right there. And then we go to the next banner, which was the 2.5 anniversary, the November Festival of 2021. So we had, obviously, this was the November Fest for JP, right? Global, I think, got this on Global Anniversary. So it was I think we got this in March of 2021. But this was the November Festival of 2021 for Global and JP, and it was Chad King. And his banner was pretty good too, right? You had Chad King, the one Escanor, Purgatory Bond, Festival Merlin. All really desirable characters at the time, you know, considering when King came out, right? Well, with the festivals that were there, you know, some coin shop characters, you know, Green Merlin was really good. Red Escanor is not that greatest, you know, same with Diane. I mean, these characters weren't too great either. I mean, Sariel rerun was really good. Chandler was a really good rerun. Sigurd and Brunhild being on the banner too, I think was pretty good for its time. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, this was a vote banner too for this setup here for Chad King. So definitely a pretty good banner as well, but I don't think it was like one of the better banners of that year. I think Chad King's was good, but it wasn't better than, like, you know, the next one, which is Trader Melly. Trader Melly banner, I think, was definitely a step above, because it had some seasonals. It had, you know, what is it, Margaret, Festival Gother rerun. I think Festival Gother came out earlier that year too. Like, he was literally the festival, I think, for September Fest, right? He was at the September Festival or the download celebration slot, so he finally reran. And then, you know, Trader Melly being the first dark unit, you know, at the end of 2021 going into 2022, that was crazy, man. People were super hyped when this banner got announced, and even all the characters that were on it. This was not a vote banner, guys. This was just characters that were slotted on, like all the Archangels. You had Chandler, you know, Elab, Bellion, the 2 characters right here, the Green Demon Melly, and then the Red Elizabeth, because they gave out the Blue Jericho for free back then, so they didn't put her on the banner. But they had these 2 of the new legend units, which you know, to force spawn demons. And then even now, like, looking back, it's like, yo, you know, Elizabeth is at an LR now, right? So, like, you know, even then you got more value because of that if you pulled her. At least for now, like looking back, and then like Droll, Derriere, Estarossa, you have some more coin shop sins. Like it was a really good banner too. I think Trader Melly banner, definitely a step up from King's banner. If we actually look at it, like there are obviously some characters here that were desirable, like Sigurd, Brunhild, the Archangels. The festival lineup was still pretty good too, but I mean this festival lineup was even more stacked, man. I think like Margaret, Festival Gulther, Trader Melly was really good. 3. I think Glasses was okay, and then I think Cusack was okay as well. But I mean these 3 definitely carried that banner, man, for what it was for its time. And then moving on, guys, we do have the anniversary banner for 3rd anniversary. So this is the 2022 no 2020 wait, is it 2022? Yeah, it was 2022. Okay, 2022 anniversary, which is the 3rd anniversary for Grand Cross in general. So we did get Light Elizabeth, which is the first time we had her. Like a light attribute character, right? First light attribute in the game. And then every character on the banner, guys, was level 80 awakened. So this is one of the best banners in the sense of like if you pulled a character and you were a new player, like all the characters were like level 80 instantly. Like this was just a super good banner for like what it was. I think Light Elizabeth's banner also was a vote banner too. So I think everyone got to vote Trader Melly onto the banner. You were like Chad King, Margaret, the One, Purgatory Bond. That was a really good festival lineup for its time too. Like all the best festivals they could have picked. So like definitely really good. And then Jormungand, Meliodas being on the banner, like these are demonic beast characters. People really needed them to clear. Green Sariel on the banner is pretty good. Green Escanor, not the greatest. Obviously this is when people started to meme the Green Escanor getting voted thing, right? You had like Brunhild, Sariel, Scotty. Blue Demon Melly definitely wasn't a character at the time that was good. Yeah, I mean you had like Arthur, Sigurd, right? Like the banner, like the lower part of the banner wasn't the greatest, but you look at the top part and like all the like level 80 characters you could have pulled, and it was like, okay, this is a crazy banner, right? Like, and especially because they came level 80, so you didn't have to spend SSR penance. This is one of the best value banners for like a newer player just starting the game, because you got all these characters just like instantly leveled up, man. So good. So I hope they do this for the November festival coming up. If they do that, oh man, it's gonna be crazy. But yeah, they stopped doing it though with last year's November Fest. You guys remember Ultimate Escanor's banner came out, and this was I would say the best banner that on release, one of the best banners on release for sure. Like look at the banner lineup, man. You had Ultimate Escanor, which is the first light attribute festival. We had or for a first light attribute that wasn't a goddess character, right? So you had Ultimate Escanor, Trader Melly, Light Liz, right? The light and dark lineup. You had the One Escanor, which is not the greatest character, but like Chad King and Queen Diane, both very desirable characters, man. Both really good desirable characters. Red Tarmiel, I think was the first ever time he was on a festival banner, so people definitely wanted to pick him up. Ominous Nebula rerun, which is really good. Both Jormungand and Meliodas was good again. Green Chandler rerun as well. Like, bro, just a ton of really good characters on Ultimate Escanor's banner, which was last year's November Fest, right? This one wasn't a vote banner, but it was a banner where like Netmarble actually chose really good characters to put on. So I definitely like this one. And then Purgatory Melly's banner. This is easily best banner in Grand Cross history, at least so far, right? Obviously the one that we're about to get for this November Fest could be better, but this was the best banner to date, like when it came out, man. Look at the lineup, guys. Look at the lineup. Purgatory Melly, Trader Melly, Estarossa, Light Liz, Infinity Merlin, Queen Diane. Like that festival lineup, best festival lineup I think we've ever had in terms of like when it came out and the characters that were on the banner. And then you look at like Ominous Nebula, Red Brunhild, the seasonal character, all these seasonal characters too. Green Melasila first festival rerun ever being on a festival banner. Freyr rerun, which was really good. They had Ragnaroks and they had like seasonals, man. Like Zenari was a character who was super desirable. The Green Awakened Easton was super desirable. The Demonic Beast unit, Stonar was on the banner too. Like, bro, man, this was the best banner on to date when it came out. So I think we could definitely top this with Novemberfest coming up, because I definitely could see it, being a better banner. And then right here we had Transcendent Bond's banner, which I think, when this banner came out, was the new best banner we've ever had, right? Because it had to be, right? Like, look at the lineup. You had, Transcendent Bond, Ultimate Escanor, Trader Melly, Estarossa, Light Liz, you had Infinity Merlin, and then these 3 characters were added onto the banner too that weren't even votable. These were characters that Netmarble themselves was like, okay, let's just put Purg Melly in the banner. Let's just put Assault Melly. Let's put LR Melly, right? And they all got added onto the banner, and it was crazy. And then even like the lineup here had some seasonals and stuff, right? So like Nanashi, Zenari, Red Tarmiel being on the banner is really good. You had like Green Melasila, you had the Archangels, you had the what was it? I forget what these characters were called, but they're like not new legend, but the Valentine's characters of 2020 and 2021. Like they were really good. For the cosmetic drops they could give. Like Blue Elaine was a character not often on banners, like Awakened Easton, as I mentioned. Very, very good, man. Like these were banners. Like if these are the type of banners we want to be seeing on Grand Cross nowadays, man. These are what we can kind of expect, right? Like these were the crazy banners. And then yeah, guys, these are some honorable mentions for some other banners that weren't festivals that I had here. So like Nebula Zeldris was obviously a pretty good banner, because look at what they had, right? Red Tarmiel, I think this was his first rerun. You had Jormungand Miguelda on the banner. You had the new legend units, which at the time not the greatest characters in use, but like you could use them in the sense of like force spawning demons, which is great at the time. And then you know, Matrona, Brunhild, like bro, this banner was crazy. Even though it was like the second half to Esterosa's banner, I think this banner low key, like if they had Esterosa as the featured unit and then this was the lineup, it would have been one of the best festival banners ever. If he was the main unit, not Nebula Zeldris, but. Yeah, I mean, really good banner too. Another honorable mention was this global exclusive banner right here, where we had Dana for Liz level 80, 6-star. You had Blue Dariari level 80, 6-star. You know, Green Easton, you know, Nanashi. All these characters were on one banner, and only these 6 were on the banner. So you, no matter what, like the value in pulling on this banner when this one came out was crazy, bro. You had 6 units, all brand new at the time on global, and each of them were given to you level 80 if you pulled them. One of the best banners we've ever had, just because of the fact that they were all new, and Netmarble was just like, okay, let's just release them just so people have access, right? It was crazy. It was so super crazy. And then my final honorable mention was the new legend and the Valentine units all in one banner, and there's only these 6 as well. So it's kind of the same thing with this, but this banner was good because, you know, these were the force spawning demon units, and then these were the characters that gave you the cosmetic drops. So they were like, you know, definitely beneficial characters for your account. So yeah, man, those are all the banners, guys, that came out in Grand Cross that I think were some of the better banners in Grand Cross history. I think if I had to rank them for like the most important banners we've had in history, definitely Small Wing King was one of the better banners for sure. You know, like Trader Melee banner was definitely one of the better banners. I think, you know, Ultimate Escanor and Purg Melee was some of the better banners. Even Transcendent Bond's banner, this was the best banner to date. You know, even you know, being better than Purg Melee in my opinion. I think the lineup was definitely like strong enough to warrant you saying it's better than this. But this banner was like so crazy too. It's really hard to say, because this banner had all the festival melees and this festival lineup with these characters. Like it was still a good lineup, but like this banner had all the good seasonals like Summer Diane and like, you know, like Green Gulther. Like bro, it was crazy. So like yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comment section below, man. Are you guys excited for the upcoming November festival? What do you guys think? And let me know in the comment section below what you guys think of any of these banners. Let me know which was your favorite banner in the past for Grand Cross. Like which one would you have like went crazy on if you weren't there when it was out, or which one do you remember summoning on? Just talk to me in the comments, man. Let me know, guys. But that's pretty much it for the video. I hope you guys do enjoy. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe as always. If you guys want to see more videos like this, definitely let me know in the comment section below, and I'm gonna see you guys in the next video. Peace out and have a great rest of your day, guys. See you later, man.